The Adirondacks are a land of breathtaking vistas, a tapestry of shimmering lakes, cascading waterfalls, and majestic mountains that inspire a sense of awe and wonder. And I grew up in these mountains in New York. We lived in a log cabin on the Schroon River. The family ran a logging tug hauling logs up the river and down from the lake to the sawmill's loading dock. Hello in late April or early May. The spring thaw would cause the river to rise over 7 feet and flood the area. Our cabin was on piers to keep us above the floodwater. It lasted about a week, but during that time, it was like living on a houseboat, and we tied the boat up to the front porch. We also were in the snow belt. When the wind blew during a blizzard, the leeward side of the cabin would drift all the way over the roof. We often received 10 feet or more of snow each year, and 40 below was not unheard of. I was 7 years old when we finally got electricity, and the kerosene lamps were replaced with light bulbs. The hand pump was replaced with faucets, and the privy was replaced with a toilet. In this old photo taken about 1955, we had just swapped out the steam engine for an old Crosley gas engine in our logging tug. This photo is taken over Schroon Lake, looking toward Schroon Lake Village. When I was growing up back then in the 50s and 60s, we were independent kids. Even at the age of 10, I had my own powerboat, and it was nothing to take it the 12 miles up the river and across the lake to the village to pick a bag of sugar, a quart of milk, and yes, even a pack of cigarettes. Now kids are driven to their friend's house for a play date. So much has changed over the years. In the 50s, the general store still sold penny candy, and they even had a manual gas pump outside the store. They carried all the supplies we all needed, including the stables, eggs, milk, and bread, filling the needs of the local community. 70 years later, they are more concerned with filling the wants and demands of the vacationers, most of whom are downstaters who come north to enjoy the peace and quiet that we used to enjoy until their arrival. They come north to experience the wilderness experience, but they demand their specialty coffees, craft beers, and croissants. This photo is also taken over Schroon Lake, looking toward Clark's Island, known as Word of Life Island, in the middle of Schroon Lake. As a young teenager back in the early 60s, friends and I would boat up to the island in the middle of the night and sneak into the summer camp, and Don, who played the trumpet, would blow reveille in the middle of the night, and we would get the whole camp up. Much more fun than putting a burning bag of you-know-what on someone's steps. Several years later, as older teenagers, we would boat up to the small rocky island next to the main island and build campfires, play our radios and tape decks, and have our own island version of a beach party. Gidget and Moondoggie had nothing on us. Often the teen counselors would sneak out of camp, swim the short distance to the rocks, and join us. As a teenager, I built a hydroplane from plans I ordered from a copy of Mechanics Illustrated. Oh, it was way overpowered and capable of over 80 miles per hour. At full speed, it sent a rooster tail of water 50 to 60 feet into the air. There is a bridge that crosses where the river joins the lake, and it is only about 200 feet across. I liked to open my boat up and speed up before I got to the lake and would be doing 50 miles per hour or so, and I would still be sending up a rooster tail, and it would soak the bridge, and anyone who happened to be driving on the bridge. Convertibles were very popular then with the vacationers. Yeah, I know, I was young and stupid. This is what the bridge looks like today. Long gone is the steel girder bridge that was so old that it groaned when two vehicles were on it at the same time. On the left of the photo is a public boat launch at the southern end of the lake, and it is relatively close to the bridge that crosses where the river enters the lake. The game warden was launching his boat as I came up to the bridge, and he heard my boat engine cranking up, so he was looking, and he saw me. The problem was the speed limit within 100 feet of shore is 5 miles per hour, and I was sending up that rooster tail and way over the speed limit. So as I enter the lake, I open my boat up to full throttle heading up lake to the village. I had no reason to look over at the boat launch, and my only concern at this point was to look for any debris floating in the water and other boats. The warden took off after me, but his boat was only capable of about 30 miles per hour, and I never looked back, and I really could not see much through that cloud of water in the rooster tail, and I went all the way to the village. I was tying up my boat at the public dock, and I noticed flashing lights out on the water, wondering what it could be. I sat down on the dock, dangling my feet in the water, and light up a cigarette and watched the flashing lights get closer and closer. I soon realized that it was the warden's boat. I had never seen his flashing lights in operation before, and as he got closer, I waved. He knew me and my boat. It's a small community. He cruised up to me and told me he saw me speeding under the bridge, and a lot of others at the boat launch saw me too. He had received complaints of boats rooster-tailing cars on the bridge. I was not going to get a warning this time, and he wanted to know why I did not stop for him. I laughed and said I never looked back. He said he figured as much. This is the photo the warden took of me sending up that rooster tail. He presented it to the magistrate at Bolton Lake when I had to appear to pay my fine. My ticket for speeding on a waterway was $10 and $2 for no life preserver on board. Long gone are the days of a simpler life, when children did not have to be coddled and parents did not hover over them, dictating what they would do and with whom. We no longer row the waterways in the peace and quiet of the evening's light, while listening the mournful song of the loon as it glides effortlessly across the shallow waters.
Adirondack Mountains calling my name. The log cabin whispers in the timber frame. The river winds through the valleys untamed. The life once here will never be the same. Clouds so high they kiss the moon, stars so bright they light the gloom. Lake so wide it holds my dreams, memories flow in endless streams. The logging tug we steered with pride through roaring waters and shifting tides, up the river to the old sawmill. The echoes linger, but the air is still. Clouds so high they kiss the moon, stars so bright they light the gloom. Lake so wide it holds my dreams, memories flow in endless streams. A creak of wood, the whistles wail, the forest, a bygone trail. I feel the tug of a distant song in the quiet where I belong. So long ago the life has gone, but in my heart it still lives on.